Okay, so I had to go. My mother-in-law suddenly appeared behind the camera over by the corner there, so I let her into the house. She usually comes on after church, and it gets to be like a family visit. And is someone calling me? I don't think so. This is where things get unpredictable. Well, let's get back to Alfred. Look, you get this thing where it appears that you're being understood perfectly on everything that you say, but you're not. Now, Alfred is especially hampered by a couple of things. First of all, he's not in the greatest of health. Now, as you can see, he puts this down to having been a farmer for most of his life, and farming is not an easy life, so he puts that down. So he has trouble with, I think, with his hip or his knee, and he doesn't get around too well. Now, he has other things going against him. When he left Germany some, I'm only guessing now, but it's like, I know that he was in Thailand for 12 years. Just to give you a backstory, may help you to be more patient with the man. Now, he was in Thailand, had a bad marriage, had a difficult situation with the house that he built, so he went the expat way of, if you're not sure about the relationship that you're in and there's no trust, then what you can do is you can put up the money to buy the land. You buy the land in the name of your partner, and then on a pre-agreement, you then lease the land for 25 years. That's the figure that comes to mind. What that means is it's a little bit like a prenup again. Well, it is a prenup agreement, isn't it, of a different kind. It means that if you build a house, you will be able to live, in Alfred's case and probably mine, you'll be able to live your time out in that house even if the marriage or the agreement breaks down. So that's what he did, and he was continuing to live in that house because the relationship had broken down. Now, so he's speaking Thai for 12 years, and then he decides to come to the Philippines. And we met Alfred, first off, we met him when he showed up at our house in the mountains on a tricycle with a suitcase announcing that he had come to stay for 7 weeks. Yeah, no, that didn't go down too well for me, for obvious reasons. And my thought was that, well, we'll take you down and we'll get you fixed up with a reasonably priced place to live, and then we'll see what we can do to help you. Beth pulled me to one side and whispered in my ear, "He looks very shaky. Can we put him up for a couple of days?" I agreed to put him up for a couple of days, and then it turned out to be a very long time. At least 6 or 7 weeks. And he formed a relationship with Talia. Talia has her own site, I don't know what it's called, not interested. And he moved from where we were, from where he was, which was living in a tiny house next to Lena's. It was the house that Taliklit was born in, and then we built a house for Lena right next to it, and the little house was still there, and Lena very kindly allowed a rescued lady was having a lot of Talia was having a lot of trouble. She was having a lot of trouble. She had to move. We agreed to shelter her, and so we installed her for a little while, as long as it took, to live in Lena's house by Lena's kindness. Now, Talia and Alfred hooked up, and Alfred moved the family into a rented place. Now, eventually, he bought a piece of land and he built a house on it. Now, it didn't work out with Talia, so he is on the same arrangement as his bad relationship in Thailand. So that brings us pretty well up to date. Now, we introduced him to Maria. Now, Maria has been someone that we've cared about a great deal. She is a fragile little flower of a girl, and we actually care about what happens to her. This is one of the reasons why we can't go along with the suggestions. We'll let him go to hell if he doesn't want to listen to you, then he can go home. We can't allow that to happen, because we care about Maria, and that's the whole crux of it. Now, back to Alfred. Why does he have difficulty understanding? He speaks better Thai and German than he does English. So he's a very clever guy. He designed that house, which I think is a great house, and which a lot of you also remarked it's a very nice house. He designed and oversaw the building of that house himself. So, he's a clever man. But he is very hard of hearing. Now, if you couple those things together, he's very hard of hearing, and his grasp of English is not that great. So, he's already not hearing what you're saying. He also might be not understanding. The other thing is that he is I'll tell him this to his face, so I'm not telling you anything behind his back that I haven't already said to him. He's bloody hard-headed, and he has fixed ideas about what has to happen. He thinks to a very large degree that the way that things are done in the Philippines are stupid. They're totally dumb. They don't know what they're doing. They're a complete fiasco. Well, that may be, but the fact is that he's the foreigner. So if you're the foreigner and you're going around, or you're in the office, the government office of a place where you are the foreigner, you better just be patient and assume that maybe you are getting it wrong. And he doesn't do that. So very difficult to talk to him and to get him to do something which, based on what Beth is advising him, he's not listening. First of all, he's not listening very well. Secondly, he doesn't understand very well what is happening. And thirdly, he's not hearing you very well as well. So you can see what the problem is. Now, Marie is completely the opposite. Marie is a worrywart. She worries about everything. She'll worry about whether she's going into town to do the shopping or not. And that's her way. She's a timid little lady. We love her and want to make sure that she's always going to be okay. But it's a delicate situation. And something that many of you don't seem to know or understand is that they are married. Now, this was a big thing on both parts. It helped Marie, who was not in any kind of great stable financial situation, and it helped Alfred, because Alfred is now entitled to go for his permanent residence. But he wants to do it his way, and guess what? The Philippines are not ready to convert to the German way of thinking. So that brings us to today or yesterday. Okay? So, we live in a very confused world, and we're lucky to get by as we do in the Philippines. Personally, I think that we are very lucky. I get up in the morning and I look out here. This is what I look out over. And the single parent down there, that's my backyard, and I feel very fortunate. And I thank the Philippine nation, the Filipino people, for giving me this chance to have another chance at life. And so I feel that we should all, who are, let me say, enjoying this privilege, any expat watching this who hasn't actually quite realized how bloody lucky he is to be here and to be able to live as he does. Obviously there's a lot of sad, not a lot, but there's some horror stories of people who've come and they've run out of money and they've got nobody to help them, and they've got no family, and the next thing you know they're starving or dying or whatever. It's not the norm. Most people come, they get a second chance, or however many chances they've had. They should be grateful. Alfred is not quite at the point where he's grateful enough. He thinks, I think, sometimes when I go there, which I don't do very often now, he seems to think that the Philippine people should be grateful to have the chance to have him here. You may be right, Alfred. We won't go into that. But this was to be a short video. Of course, that's not something that comes easily to me, to make a short video, because there seems to be so much that's going on in the world that Alfred should know about and should realize how damn lucky we are. We are so very lucky. You know, I go into Taliban, I go to the bank, come out of the bank, I don't feel endangered. Of course, there's crime here, there's robberies, but it's not the same. Not the same as how I felt either in the UK, although the UK, I never really felt unsafe in the UK, to be honest. But the US nowadays, got to be very careful, and that seems to be the way that it's going. And I have lots of subscribers that actually write to me and tell me about the things that are going on there, and it's a troubled scene. So if I'm talking to a lot of expats right now, let's be grateful and let's be goodwill ambassadors for the country that we come from. Let's look good, behave nice to people, because they're behaving nice to us. It's not hard. And Alfred will go the way that he will go. And fortunately, Beth is a person of unending patience, and whatever happens, she'll repair whatever damage he may have done yesterday, and she will bring it all round. Was it yesterday or the day before? I get up usually at 4:30 in the morning and I come out here and I work out. There's my little tin pot gymnasium that I come out and I do my exercises and try to keep old age at bay, even if I am 20 or 30 years too late. And it's a long day. So the days are long and the weeks are short. Time is passing very quickly. We have to be very grateful wherever we are, whoever we are, for the life that we have. It's not a good picture ahead of time, and right now, for me to be able to look out on this as my backyard, damn, I feel lucky. So, thanks for looking in. I hope it helps you to understand some of the difficulties that Alfred is having. He's a good man. He's just such a cranky blogger. So remember that when you watch videos of it. Bye for now. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Subscribing really does help us. Our channel is making something of a comeback. The pendulum, I always tell Beth that the pendulum swings. So the pendulum's going, it's going this way, not too good, and then it's coming back. So it's coming back, and we're paying more attention to the work that we do on our channel. Here's a sobering thought for you. No doubt everybody assumes that they are a compassionate, caring, sympathetic person, and everybody does what they can to help charity-wise or to help another. We all do what we can, and that's what Beth and I do. But our haters won't have this. But once we started to devote pretty well 100% of what our content is on our channel, our income and our figures and our popularity went down. Because even the most sympathetic people get a little bit worn out by too many sad stories. So right now, even though we're very heavily committed to our education program, we're trying to have more fun. We're building when we can. We're having work done on our house. We're trying to get our 5-year dream project of an inland revenue. Sorry, that's a Freudian slip. An inland resort, and we're trying to build that. It's a back pocket, what a friend of ours called a back pocket project. We build on it when we get the money, and when we haven't got it, then we don't do anything. So subscribe please, and share our videos if you will, because that also gets us more views, and it helps the whatever it is that AI, artificial intelligence, working for Facebook and YouTube, whatever it needs to direct more people to us, it will do if the views and the subscriptions continue to improve. Thank you so much.